Hey, what's up, y'all? It is your boy Don Juan, and I am back for another Unapologetically review. I know I've been getting tweets and DMs, and people have been hitting me because I've been gone. I'm sorry, y'all. I got some good reasonings for some of it, but we're going to have to talk about that as we continue on. So, first of all, thank y'all so much for coming to Unapologetically. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for being ready to watch these videos. I do have some good reasons I was gone. So, I'm going to be honest. 1 week, I was on vacation. I went and took a vacation. Some of you may have seen the pictures. So I was not able to do the video. Just going to be honest. So after that, I came back and I was like, yeah, I'm going to still do my video when I get back. So I got back and I did my video. Recorded the video, started to upload the video, and it kept giving me an error. So then I watched the video. And the video was 2 hours long. For some reason, it had changed and corrupted. And so I got like 10 minutes in and all of a sudden everything was in slow motion, y'all. I was disgusted. I thought I was just like on it. Yeah, I got my video. I ain't missed no week. So I was disgusted. I did not have a video for y'all. I was like super mad. I'm going to be honest. So you didn't get that video. Last week, things just got out of hand. I was busy, so I was not able to do the video. So I'm going to be catching up on the last 2 episodes of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think these are episodes 4 and 5, but I'm not sure, but I think so. I will put it in the description. So this is going to be my recap for those episodes. Y'all going to have to lost that last one, I'm going to be honest, but these were going to be my episodes for the last 2. So, I'm going to try to make it not fast, but not slow. Because sometimes y'all be like, you talk so fast and your speech pattern, we can't understand you, and slow it down. But I'm like, y'all are not going to watch a 50-minute video. I think people like Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. You like fast and quick. So that's the kind of videos that we're doing for you. So let's start it off with the first episode. Then we're going to get to the second one because I ain't going to lie. The last episode, I got some to say. Because it's a whole bunch of liars that are going on and a whole bunch of lies that are being told. So some of the stuff I can clear up, and I can clear it up very clearly because guess what? I'm a part of it. Can't give you everything because I will definitely be back. Some of y'all be like, oh my God, you done popped up again. I will be back in a couple of episodes probably coming up to talk about how I feel about some of the lies once they're brought to me. I don't know that they're being said then, but I'm going to give you my honest opinion about when I find out they're being said now. Okay? So, talking about it on the episode, I think it was 4, Sheree has the girls over for drinks. And of course, they speak on Kenya and the Martell situation and Mama Joyce at BravoCon. So, they seem to be having their own little kiki about everything and all of those. Marlo feels people speak on her, and she's like, everybody always got something to say about me, but she definitely always has something to say about everybody else. And she's loving being the instigator of some of the stuff that happened between Kenya and Martell and over there. Oh, yeah, and turn it up. And then Courtney, I just don't even know why she's talking because it annoys me. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, it just kind of annoys me. That's all I'm gonna say. Drew and Ralph. It is so weird seeing this Drew and Ralph that is like happily ever after when I'm watching this show to knowing what current day has happened. So it is very, I don't know how to describe it, very weird when I'm watching this back and I see how they're, oh my God, and they're in the best place and they're going to the studio and I don't know. It's so weird. At one point, Ralph said Ike and Tina as his descriptor of them. And I was like, not the best descriptor. Did anybody catch that? Did y'all catch the Ike and Tina part? I thought it was crazy. And then at one point, Drew was like, not Ralph gaslight me or something. Or Ralph may have said something like gaslight me. And I was like, is he aware that that's not a good thing? Or is she aware? Like, some of the references were just a mess to me. The cousin Courtney stuff is a mess. And speaking of that, they cut out one part. So when I was there when they called Ralph and Drew, actually. And I was actually in the background, and I said distinctly, she doesn't need to come if cousin Courtney is there because ain't nobody really messing with cousin Courtney. They cut that out, but I definitely said it. And this whole thing, now it's your cousin. Now, they've been in Atlanta how many years? And all of a sudden, now this is his cousin. And it's just kind of giving weird. It's giving very weird. I'm like, are they kissing cousins? I mean, or I don't know. It's very confusing. So then they talk about Drew gonna do this performance with Candace, which I love Candace. But I thought it was funny that they were like, Drew was the second choice. I was like, okay, that's interesting. They wanted Shamari first. Shamari is an amazing vocalist too. So Courtney comes by, and I didn't know when Courtney came by to visit them that Bryce was her baby father. So when I saw it, I was like, that can't be the same Bryce Wilson from Groove Theory and back in the day, because he did not look the same. Did y'all know that that was Bryce? I did not know that that was Bryce. Y'all cannot tell me y'all knew that was Bryce. If y'all knew that was in Bryce, drop it down in the comments. Say, I knew. Say, I knew, because I didn't know. None of us knew. We didn't know that was Bryce. Bryce don't look the same. Bryce has aged, and we didn't know that that was saying, gosh, she could have just said that was her baby daddy. Nobody would have known that was Bryce Wilson. Just saying. Sheree, call it, Sheree had a comment when it came to like supporting Drew. I'm sorry, and I'm reading notes, y'all, because I'm trying to give y'all the past episode, and also forgive me that I do have clip notes. So Sheree at one point called it Flop It with Drew. Yeah. If y'all know what I'm thinking right now, I don't think that the comment was okay. But if y'all know what I'm thinking right now, let me know. Because I was just like, did you just call it that, Sheree? Did you just call it Flop It with Drew? I don't think you should have called it that, Sheree. But whatever. They bring up the hood and people coming out. It really irritates me. Because I think we get to this point in our life and we're like, yeah, we done made it and we don't need the hood and we don't need blah, blah, blah. But I think we need everybody that's going to support us. I don't care if you're from the hood, you're from the suburbs. I don't care for the country, the rural. I don't care where you're from. If you're supporting something, I'm appreciative of that. And I feel like they're not having that appreciation and they're making it like it's a bad thing that people have the hood come out. Because, yeah, I was not raised like that. I was raised that you respect the janitor the same as you respect the CEO. Because you know what you got to realize? One day that janitor might be the next bigger CEO and you might be needing a job from them. And the way this lady talk about she a crisis manager and all, I don't know who the clients are, because if they heard the stuff that come out of your mouth, then oh my God, I don't know how you're going to help somebody else with their life when you say some of the worst things. The ghetto, the hood. Well, do your clients know when you're doing marketing and all of them, this is how you are talking about the population that could be helping their company? Doesn't seem good to me. So it's a little stretch. And the footage that you end up seeing at the end of that episode, this is episode 3. And again, y'all, please don't come for me talking about, oh my God, we didn't kind of get what you meant from episode 3 because it was kind of fast or I was trying to put everything in both of them, just so you know. But I also don't want to do a 40-minute video because you guys don't watch 40-minute videos from me. But I'm trying to give you a recap of just what happened and bring you up to date. They showed the footage. So here's what happened. Usually you don't see this fourth wall that is around. It is producers, it is cameramen, it is audio people. You never see any of them unless you just something happens and then you can't miss a cameraman. But that fourth wall always happens. So when production goes down, the cameras will go down, the mics will come off, all of these things will happen. What happened here is production went down, but somebody pulled out that handy dandy cell phone. And that's how they got that footage that they end up airing on TV. They didn't think that footage would ever air because production had went down. But what it did show me is how this woman weaponized her nephew dying was sick. It was disgusting. It was not anything that anybody should do. It was horrible. Even Drew was like thrown off and she acted like she was so triggered. Let me be the first to say this. It is sad that her nephew died. Don't take this clip and say like I didn't say any of that, because it is sad when a human life is lost. It is sad because I knew of her nephew, but I didn't know it was her nephew, just so we're clear. Didn't know it was her nephew at all when he worked at the restaurant. We'll get into that in this next episode. But the way that she weaponized him dying, I didn't like it. It didn't sit well with me. It was like the weaponizing of your nephew dying, the weaponizing of your love for your nephews when you tell them to get out, and how you use it for TV. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And if I don't like it, oh well, I don't like it. So I don't have to partake in it. I will tell you I didn't like it, in the words of you know who. I didn't like it. It was bad. It was bad, y'all. So it gets me to this next episode, okay? In this, I'm going to give you a little bit more insight into that. So you see Marlo weaponizing her nephew. And she starts to state facts that she says are true. At this point, I realize why she has mugshots. She has mugshots because she doesn't know truth from untruth, facts from opinions. She doesn't know any of those things. Let me give you some insight, okay? Her nephew, we did not know. He started working at the end of 2019. We did not know that was her nephew. I never knew that was her nephew. The restaurants, it is 3 restaurants. They have a few hundred people that work at these restaurants. All of the hiring, all of that stuff is done with myself, members of the staff that I have helping work with me, extras, the managers, all of that. They're not done directly by the owners. So nobody can ever say that the owners are the people that hire them and do all of that. That is not what they do. So the person is hired. They have a new hire packet. They go through the handbook. They do all of those type of things. None of that happens with the owners. They're put in the system. They're, paid through payroll. All of these things happen, right? This happened in November. The pandemic happened in February. We were shut down, so we came back around May. So he worked maybe November to March, then maybe May till the end of June, but he may have gotten the last check in July, the top of July, after like the week right after he quit or something to that nature, right? Nobody knew that was her nephew, for one. She talks about this picture that he's in his chef coat and that's at OLG. That is a bald-faced lie. That picture is not at OLG. That is a different place that he used to work. So she'd already made up some fact that didn't happen, for one. She talks about her nephew being killed. Her nephew was killed, again, super sad, at home with a roommate that he was living with. She insinuates or says that this person he met at Old Lady Gang. Let me ask you guys a question, and I need you guys, maybe I'll try to educate you sometimes and think with common sense. But if you don't get this with common sense, then maybe you should not be watching TV, or you should talk to somebody. At a restaurant, you may have a chef, and the chef may come out to say, how was the food? All of those kind of things, right? You're sitting out there. You have your host. You may see the host when you first come in the restaurant. You may see the server. They are serving you the food, so you see them continuously. You may even see the manager. They may come over and say, hey, how was your food? At most restaurants, it's just a cook from the back of the restaurant coming out to meet with the guest. Her nephew was a cook. He was not the head chef. He was not going out meeting the people asking how their food was. He wasn't the head chef. Y'all have met Chef Melvin. He was working there. He was one of the head chefs. And we had some other head chefs at the time. Her nephew was not one of them. So most of the time, the cooks were not coming out there to meet with the guest. So if you met someone at Old Lady Gang, it may have been you had left Old Lady Gang and you met them and, oh, I was there earlier. But most of the time, that didn't happen that way. So her making this thing that this person met them at Old Lady Gang and that became their roommate. I don't know at what restaurant you meet somebody and you have this long enough conversation to become their roommate when you are a cook in the back of the restaurant. If this has happened to you and you know that the cooks be hanging outside in the front with you while you eating your food, then you let me know the restaurant, because I will gladly say, y'all, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. It happens all the time. So I'm just giving you the preface. Her nephew, the cook, not the head chef, who was in a picture that was not taken at Old Lady Gang, was in the back of the house, the back of the restaurant. You've not seen a lot of the cooks from Old Lady Gang. You've seen the people we showed you on TV. He didn't meet that person that we know of at Old Lady Gang. If so, there's nothing supporting that. I have went as far as to say her nephew, who, happened to have this tragic thing that happened to him. They were saying that the person worked there. I checked all employment files. The person never worked there. So I think that was clarified. He never worked there. The person who, he lived with and who this tragic thing happened, didn't. But they're drawing this narrative that, oh, if you go there to work, or, oh, if you blah, 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 this is going to happen. There has been an isolated incidents of things that have happened at people's locations and people's things, but you can't just say that that's the case, because a lot of the staff go to Old Lady Gang, go to Blaze, go to all these places all the time. Nothing happens. But isolated things have happened before. The one that we're speaking of now is currently, you're talking about Blaze. It doesn't even have anything to do with Old Lady Gang, and it's talking about from 3 years ago. 3 years ago, not to discredit her nephew's life. Let me make sure that is very clear. But I don't think that people realize when you start making comments like that, how it affects other people. When you start saying stuff like, I don't know if I'm getting biscuits or bullets, where they had said in a previous episode, how that affects other people and their life, because there are hundreds of people that work at Old Lady Gang Blaze that depend on their check every 2 weeks. That is how they've survived. That's how they pay for their kids' food. That is how they put a roof over their kids' head. That's how they pay for their parents. And when you make comments like that, you don't know how it affects those people. So when you do that, I have a problem, because those are my people. Those are the people that I want to make sure that it's always taken care of. Those are the people that I care about. So when you do that, you're not anything to me. You're foul. You're disgusting. You're beyond words. Like, it's a lot of things that I would say, but you're like not the type of person that anybody should want to be friends with. Because again, you're not looking how your comments that are very incorrect and very wrong could affect other people if other people didn't do their research and believed you. It is very sad what happened. But her telling her sister and them later, and my family, and y'all felt some kind of way. You didn't say anything about this 2-3 years ago. I've seen you plenty times 2-3 years ago. You've invited people to stuff, like when you want them to promote stuff for you, but you didn't say anything about, oh, I felt some kind of way, you didn't send me flowers. So using it and weaponizing someone's death is not good. It's not good, y'all. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. I will say more about this later, but just to give you those insights. This is a situation from 2 to 3 years ago. I don't know why it's being brought up now. I don't know why she's weaponizing with it. I don't know why what she's trying to insinuate, but it's not good. And then the commentary that you're getting from the Courtneys and all, be quiet. Be quiet. Nobody really knows your track record. Like, you may know some people in Atlanta. That's great. Super happy for you. But be quiet. Not it. It's not it. It's not a good look. So they end up going out of town. The trip seems fun. They start talking about everything from eating booty and all kinds of stuff. And I think all of that is fun. Everybody's coughing though. That is a whole nother story to me, because I'm like, why are y'all coughing? That seems crazy. They get the dance class. That seems fun. I'm glad you guys get to see Monietta a lot more. Them going to the, be able to be a part of the HBCU event is amazing. So I think this trip, was overall cool. Kandi was not in this episode, but you mentioned her name so much that you was wondering why she wasn't in the episode. But anyway, so, they're having this thing about where they should go, and they get there and they're like, this is not the charity event that they were thinking, that Kenya had invited them to. That was this upscale event, but Kenya is still being a woman of her word, because they have so much about places they should go and all. And I'm like, y'all have been to worse places. Trust me. Y'all have been, all of you. So it's very weird when they do that, but okay. Then it gets to the point where, they're having a conversation. Marlo and Kenya had started to get into it earlier. And then later on, they, Marlo, oh no, I'm going to confront you. Marlo always feels like she's the person that needs to tell somebody to clock in. Stop it. that sounds crazy. Or tell somebody they need to be out here having a conversation, or can't nobody use their kid. You don't know. If somebody does not have people to help them with their kid, or if their kid takes precedent. I think that they don't realize, like, your kid would take precedent. If it was something about your business and the livelihood of your business, and it's a legal thing, that's going to take precedent than somebody talking about it on TV. That might be your problem. Like, you can't do certain things. You have a child in the room. You got to be in the room. So they go to the room even and decide to bang on the door. And even when Kenya tells them her child is in there, they continue. If that doesn't tell me that you have no regard, talking about put her out into another room, like who, what? It was just the craziest thing I had ever heard. Craziest thing I had ever heard. Disgusting, crazy, all of those things happened in this episode. Like, I can't say a lot more, y'all, because I think I say some of this later on in the season. But yeah, it was some things said and done that I personally just didn't like, because I know the hundreds of people that some of those comments could affect their livelihood. If you decide, I don't want to go there because of what they said, that affects those people. And y'all, I take that real personal. Like, I like those people. Like, sometimes it may be a lot going on, but I want them to win and survive and make a way for their family and grow and all of this. And no, that means you don't want them, like, you don't want the best for them. You're thinking selfishly about trying to make a storyline for yourself. And it's not cool. Y'all, I'm going to come back and give y'all the next episode, but I had to catch up. Thank y'all so much for supporting. Please check out the newmeaningbrand.com. Get you a t-shirt if you can. We got discounts that happen if you get like 2 items. If you get 2 items, then it's certain items. You have to make sure you know which items those are. We give you a 30% discount. But again, thank y'all so much for supporting, watching. I try not to take breaks. I try. And if I got a little passionate, y'all, I'm passionate about my people. I'm passionate about the people that I work with and that I lead. So that's why. Hopefully, I won't be so delayed this time. And again, thank y'all for watching Unapologetically.